Ladies and gentlemen, Nvidia stock has gone wild. It reported earnings yesterday after the close, and look at this massive move in the after hours. Was trading right around 305 and almost hit 400, an absolutely insane move higher. And nobody could have anticipated this. Even if earnings were good, you never know how a stock is going to react. And even if it reacts positively, it's hard to know that it's going to react like this. Sure, sometimes those expected moves are pretty big, but I don't think anybody actually expected this kind of move. Nvidia has clearly benefited from the AI boom, and especially when they announce it numerous times on that earnings call, positive reaction. Look at this one-day move. So just in one day alone, it's up almost 26%. That's pretty crazy, and you rarely see that. So obviously, Nvidia right now has a lot of momentum to the upside, and who knows where it's going to go. But if you look at the overall trend, it does feel like it has a chance to go higher, just looking at this year to date. So obviously the start of the year up until now, including this huge move higher after the positive earnings reaction, it's up almost 170%, which is insanity. Now, some may say that that move has gone a little too far. And if you look at the fundamentals, look at the PE, almost 200. So this stock is incredibly hot right now. But we're also in a market where sometimes when things get going in one direction, sure, they can pull back a little bit, but they can go a lot farther than anybody anticipated, especially if there's anybody who's stuck short in this name. Because even though the volatility is not super high, as far as once a trend is created, it seems to kind of hold that trend. And if you're just looking at the data based on the last year, the trend on Nvidia has been up. So why would that change? I would think the only reason that would change is because the market has really bad news, starts to implode, or for some reason the sentiment towards this company or some of the things that they say may change and it turns negative. But it's hard to see that right now. Now, obviously, I have no idea what Nvidia is going to do from this point moving forward, but let's just go over some of the technicals based on how I see it being around the markets for many years. So Nvidia on that big move higher, it made a new all-time high. That all-time high was 346.47, so there is no resistance above right now. So now to break things down a little bit more in depth, this is the daily chart, just the last 3 months. So it topped out right around 320, was forming a bull flag, funny enough on the daily chart, right at the 9 EMA, and then it had that positive news and a big move higher, gapping above that all-time high. And even though this is a big range candle and a little choppy, it's holding up relatively well. The only slight concern is that there is now a massive open downside gap right around 320. And I'm not sure the statistic, but I think it's something around 70 to 80% of gaps fill on the daily chart. Now, they don't have to happen overnight, but just in general. So even if Nvidia holds up well, maybe at some point over the near future of this stock trading, it has a pullback and it fills that gap. So that is a real possibility, but who knows? It could take years from now. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but just understanding that there is a massive open gap on the daily right around 320. In order to fill that gap, it first has to take out this earnings pivot low. So right now that low is at 366.35. If for some reason Nvidia goes sideways, it's not able to break out to the upside, and then it breaks that low, there is a possibility that it could work its way down into closing that gap. But if Nvidia ends up going sideways and it holds that earnings pivot low, and then it clears that high, 394.80, 400 is a major psychological level. If it can get past 400, who knows how high this could go. And all of this also depends on the market environment and the sentiment. If there is bad news towards the market, then everything is going to come in. But if the market continues to hold up and be strong and trend higher like it has recently, with Nvidia having no resistance above because it made a new all-time high, this thing could really take off to the upside. And remember, like I said before, I have no idea what a stock is going to do, but it feels like this could possibly be a $500 stock in the near future. If so, I'm sure it's not going to get there in a straight line because nothing does. There could be a lot of pullbacks in between, pushes higher, then it pulls back. They're not going to make it easy because I'm sure everybody wants to be involved in this stock right now, but it looks very strong. And now that Nvidia is trading close to that $400 number, it's going to be a lot more volatile. So whether it's investing or even just trading it, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opportunities. What an absolutely insane move on Nvidia. If anybody took advantage of it, investors, traders, whatever it may be, congratulations. Good on you. The future of this stock looks bright.